everybody, it's Reckless, and welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall. So, in this video, what I actually want to do is go over my part 2 of the top 7 changes that I feel that Bungie should make for Destiny 2. Now, before we actually get into the video, if you guys enjoyed it, hitting that like button would be greatly appreciated. And also, because it is November 24th, 2016, I would like to wish all of you guys a happy Turkey Day, and I am greatly thankful for you guys giving me your time because it is, well, Thanksgiving. So please enjoy all of the food, friends, family, loved ones, and even people you don't like, because you never know when those people will be gone. You know, it could happen at any moment. But anyways, I'm going to enjoy my day because I am going to my mother's house later on with my son and my dog, and we're gonna, have an awesome time. So without further ado, let's actually get into this video with number 1. And number 1 is giving us a longer grind to the highest level, including light level, but without prolonging progression. Now, the issue with reaching the highest light level is the fact that after you get the highest light level, there's pretty much nothing else for you to do. I mean, yes, you can wait around for special events like Festival of the Lost, SRL, Trials, and even Iron Banner, but after those are gone, you have nothing. Because at that point, you don't want to do the raid, you don't want to do the nightfalls, you don't want to do strikes. I mean, the only fun thing you have left is PvP, and not a lot of people actually like doing Crucible alone, which in turn only gives you one option, and that is to pretty much play a different game until the next DLC comes out. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I have to say it. If Bungie actually treated the leveling system in Destiny the way a lot of MMOs work, then a lot of people would, be around playing Destiny more often, including Destiny 2, given that fact that it would be a newer game. So what Bungie can actually do is make the highest level 65 instead of what it is now, which is 40, and make the highest light level 435 instead of just 400. That way it'll be a little bit longer grind, but it'll still have progression in order to get there. And if they did do that, then a lot of people wouldn't be so bored all the time. Now let's actually move on to number 2. And number 2 is the ability to toggle on and off auto lock. Now, I am not talking about aim assist, I am talking about auto lock. Now, auto lock is not a definitive term that Bungie actually uses, but it is still there, and it is very frustrating when it does happen. For example, let's say you're playing 6s in the Crucible, and you're shooting the guy, and he's almost dead, but right before you kill him, one of his teammates run right past him, and then you automatically lock onto that new guy. That's what auto lock is. And I will say auto lock is a bitch, and it has got me killed several times while playing Crucible. And I'm pretty sure that has happened to a lot of us, and I know we wish we could just turn that shit off. Speaking about PvP, this brings us to number 3. And what I want to address is the Trials of Osiris. I don't know about you guys, but when Trials of Osiris was actually released during the Festival of the Lost, I feel that there was a dramatic change in the community gameplay. And that is due to the fact that there were no revives, no radar, and we also had an ADS interruption. I did, however, see a lot less sniping, a lot more fusion rifles, sidearms, and obviously shotgun. And I liked it because people played more conservative, cautious, and they weren't playing reckless at all, no pun intended. But the best part about it was the fact that there was no radar. So when it came to actually looking for the enemy, you either had your teammates doing callouts or you found them yourself. And when it came down to sniping, it literally came down to actual skill and not depending on the radar. But you actually had to do a little bit of hard scoping, but you couldn't do it too long because of the ADS interruption. So when it comes to Trials of Osiris on a normal week, I feel that Bungie should just scrap the radar entirely. Let us have our revives, just get rid of the radar. And I'm pretty sure myself and a lot of other people will be very happy with that alone, because that'll give it that hardcore feeling of an actual competitive PvP mode. And with that said, we are moving on to number 4, which is custom activity loadouts for strikes, nightfalls, raid, Crucible, or even damage types. Now I know that the Ishtar app does actually do those things, or you can actually make it do those things. However, it's not in-game. You actually have to rely on a third-party application to get that stuff done. And in order to rely on a third-party application, you need either a cell phone, which a lot of us adults already have, and hell, even kids these days have it, a tablet, or even a PC. Granted, ever since I started using the Ishtar app, I loved it. I really have, and shouts out to Kisses for forcing me to download it. But it's more convenient if that actual aspect was in-game and not on a third-party application. And we are at number 5, which is allowing extra characters to farm for materials. Once again, I do apologize for bringing this up, but I do come from an MMO background, and just having your extra characters farm for materials is just so convenient. Especially when we need stuff like Worm Spore that we can't get from a vendor and we have to go farm it ourselves. So in the event that we actually do have multiple characters, why not allow them to go farm for materials for you instead of constantly having to spend legendary marks on them? But the trick to actually using this method is if you switch to that character that you are actually using for farming, then it cancels the farming process and you don't get the materials. Also, using the same leveling system I mentioned earlier, those extra characters would have to be level 55 for a certain amount of time before they are able to even farm materials. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a good idea. So, let's actually move on to number 6, which is more puzzles in raids that change on a weekly rotation. So, in the very first raid, which was the Vault of Glass, we had the Gorgon's Maze, which was that puzzle. In the Crota's End raid, we had the bridge. In King's Fall, we had the ship puzzle. And in Wrath of the Machine, we had the 4th monitor puzzle. We as Destiny players, more so as the Destiny community, want more. We want more things to do, more loot, more thinking than just bullets flying in the air. Now, to date, I will have to say, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the community can agree, that the 4th monitor puzzle probably was the most complex and exciting puzzle so far in Destiny. But after raid group going through the Wrath of the Machines over and over, weeks pass, almost everybody I seen had a Outbreak Prime. And it wasn't like an achievement anymore. So I actually have a solution for this. How about when it comes to raid puzzles, there are 7 different instances with 7 different combinations, and they change every week for 7 weeks. If Bungie actually did raid puzzles like this, then yes, it would be so much harder, but there'll be so many people out there welcoming the challenge, and exotics would actually feel like an exotic again, which is extremely rare to get. But we are actually going to have that conversation about exotics in an entirely new video, so we're not even going to go on that route right now. And last but not least, we are finally at number 7. Now listen to everything I say before you jump to conclusions. Number 7 is being allowed to trade gear within a locked fire team after a raid is completed for up to 10 minutes. Now what I mean when I say a locked fire team is that the people in the classes that you start with is those exact same people in classes that you have to end the raid with. I mean, if that's too complicated, then Bungie can always change their loot system to either a group looter or a master looter. Or even give us the option to choose to do one of the two before the raid even starts. For those who don't know, a group looter is like round robin, where you need on gear that you want, you greed on gear that you don't need but still will take it, and then you also have the option to pass. And as for a master looter system, one person is designated to decide how the loot is actually distributed within the raid. Now I actually feel that having a trading system within a locked fire team for the raid up to 10 minutes, as well as having a group looter or a master looter system in Destiny 2 would benefit the game a lot. However, this is based solely on my opinion, but I am pretty sure that there are plenty of people out there who can agree with me on this very opinion. And hopefully Bungie actually takes some of these suggestions into consideration while developing Destiny 2. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys for all of your support. Once again, I would like to wish each and every one of you a happy Thanksgiving. Feel free to share, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. That way you guys can stay up to date with all of my videos. I'm Reckless, and remember, own your success, and I will see you guys next time.